well, but how will these cues impact our own markets? We have our research team joining in to tell you what the trade setup looks like, the stocks that are likely to be in the news, and the action from the F&O space as well. Hey guys, a very good morning to all of you. Hormaz, let me come across to you first up. Looks like it could be a down day for our own markets.
A down day indeed, and that's what the GIFT Nifty is suggesting, almost a 250-point downtick as we speak. And so not a good start at least, but now the question is, once you get that dip, will we see a recovery as we have been seeing in the last two trading sessions? We saw a panic low that we made during budget day and we saw a 400-point recovery. Yesterday too we made a recovery, but it was not very convincing. We tested levels of 24,300 and then recovered to end in the red. But then 24,500, which has now been a support all this while, now becomes a resistance for the index. We tested 24,500 on the upside yesterday but could not sustain above those levels, and now 24,300 on the downside becomes very important, which most likely will be breached at the start of trade today itself. Now banks have been the culprit all through this. The underperformers has been the banks, and they were the rescuers in yesterday's session as well. Otherwise the cuts on the Nifty could have been far more. And the top three contributors as well on the downside, they're HDFC Bank, Axis Bank and SBI. They were the top three contributors on the downside, but then they all recovered almost 1% each from the lows of the day, and that is what contributed to the Nifty recovery from yesterday's trading session. But despite the pressure that we are seeing in the benchmark indices, the broader markets are in a league of their own. The mid-cap and the small-cap indices, the mid-cap index was up 1% yesterday, the small-cap index even better. So it would be interesting to see if there is a sharper sell-off in the broader markets, if we see the kind of start that is anticipated from the GIFT Nifty. We'll keep an eye out on specific stocks as well. The shrimp stocks have been on a tear over the last two sessions. Avanti Feeds, Apex Frozen, Waterbase have gained anywhere between 20 to 25% in the last two trading sessions. So we'll see if there is some bit of profit booking coming in today. Of course, today is the F&O expiry as well, so we'll keep an eye out on that. Earnings reactions will come in from L&T, Axis and a host of other stocks. Important names like DLF, Ashok Leyland, Tech Mahindra report results today. So all in all, it's an action-packed day today. It's expiry, and the GIFT Nifty is promising no let-off as we speak.
Okay, all right. That's right, Hormaz, because it is going to be a very action-packed day. But let's do one thing. Let's go across to Mangalam. He's joining in with all the cues from the F&O space this morning. Mangalam.
Good morning. So, if you look at the GIFT Nifty, it is indicating that the start would be in a deep shade of red, not too different from the shirt that I'm wearing right now. But the Nifty has also, the July series expiry. It's been a rather volatile week, a 250-point downtick. The Nifty in the July series so far is up around 435 points. 50% of that would be taken out in today's trading session itself. Though what we need to monitor is the low of the series, which is 23,986, which was on day one of the series. And the series high was 24,855 as well. The FIs, they've been selling in the cash market for 3 days now. They sold about 5,000 crores in yesterday's trading session. The DIs went ahead and bought just about 3,000 crores itself. And not only in cash, the FIs have been pulling out some money from index futures, adding some shorts as well. 3,600 crore yesterday. There was long unwinding to the tune of just about 3,000 contracts. But, the shorts added in the system were 40,000 contracts. And this mainly on the Nifty Bank. On the Nifty, there was actually a purchase by the FIIs. But, like we've been pointing out, over the last few days, the 5 trading sessions, FIIs have structurally reduced their longs by almost 1.5 lakh contracts. From 81%, the long exposure is down to 69%, with net contracts down from 3.9 lakh contracts to about 2.4 lakh contracts as well. What was the street position for in terms of expiry? The 24,400 call and the 24,400 put, both of them have been very active. And this was, remember, ahead of the Wall Street move that we saw overnight. So the option writers were positioned for a 24,250 to 24,550 range on the Nifty. Let's see whether the lower end of that range stands out today. The key to watch out for would be the way Nifty Bank performs after Axis Bank's numbers, Nifty IT, how that performs after Nasdaq's decline yesterday, and L&T posts its numbers as well. Stocks in focus on day of the expiry. Idea enters F&O ban, and like we pointed out, SAIL and GNFC are both out of the F&O ban.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much, Mangalam, for that. Let me go across to Sudarshan. He will list out all the stocks to watch out for in today's trading session. Sudarshan, good morning.
Morning, Suran. So we'll start with all the Nifty companies that have reported earnings, starting with Axis Bank. Headline numbers were in line, but the concern is asset quality. NPA sees an increase sequentially. Gross NPA rises by 7% and net NPA more than 9% sequentially. Slippages too were elevated, and it has increased 38% QOQ. L&T, it was an inline Q1 despite election, heat wave and labor shortage impact. Revenue has come in 6% higher than estimates, while margin has missed estimates by 30 basis points. company, though, maintains FY25 guidance. Order inflow growth is seen at 10% and revenue growth is at 15%. SBI Life results were largely in line with all the headline numbers almost coming in line or slightly missed to estimates. Value of new business has come in at 970 crore versus poll of rupees 1000 crore, and margin has come in at 26.8% versus poll of 27.8%. JSPL Q1 was higher than estimates on higher sales volume and cost reduction. EBITDA has come in 8% higher than estimates and margin was 70 bips higher than estimates. Standalone volumes has come in at 2.09 MT versus poll of 2 million tons. IGL results were largely better than estimates. Revenue was down 2%, but EBITDA was up 11% sequentially. Margin has risen 200 bips to 16.5%. Volumes have increased 5.3% year-on-year and down 1% sequentially. IEX earnings were higher year-on-year. Revenue was up 19%. EBITDA has increased 22% and margin has increased 200 basis points YOY. Oracle Financial, it was a very strong set of earnings. EBITDA has risen 36% and margin was up 600 basis points year-on-year. RBL Bank, there is a news flow. Sources say Bearing P is likely to sell its entire 7.9% stake via block deals, and offer price for the same is likely at rupees 226 per share and size is rupees 1081 crore.
Okay, that is a long list. Thank you so much, Sudarshan, for joining in as always and telling us what stocks will be in focus.